Well, fun continues. I am a man of many hats, as I think I've showed you guys before. I don't like to call myself a jack of all trades. I feel like that term's kind of a negative term, kind of hated on, I don't know, but man of many hats, I like that better. So today I am a communications, cellular technician kind of guy. I'm up on the roof of my house, which from up here, things look small. It's pretty high up here, I guess, which I'm not scared of heights. I actually kind of like getting up on roofs. I just feel like I'm doing something that most people don't get to do. But it's a bit sketchy. This is a 612 pitch, which isn't that bad, but it's a metal roof, and it's covered in pine pollen. So it is slick, to put it nicely. So I got me a little tie-off rope here. Well, you can see it better going down over here, maybe. There's my rope. So that's tied off on the bumper of my wife's car, on her tow hooks. So as long as I stay on the opposite side of the roof from that, I'm okay. And I have tested it. I didn't fall, but I've tested it enough that I put pressure on it, and it's amazing how much better you can move around just having that point of solid contact versus slipping and sliding on a metal roof. So anyway, we're installing this cellular antenna / booster combo. This is through Wilson Electronics. I think we got it from, it's called Weboost. I don't know if Weboost is the name of the antenna or if it's just the company that puts this package together, but it's supposed to be the best of the best of the best from everything that I've found, and Lord, I hope so, because it was not cheap. But you guys have probably heard me say in my other videos how out here our cellular service is really poor. We're pretty much dead center between two towers, at least for AT&T, which we have AT&T service for our home phones. I also have a Verizon cell phone for my work, and it's actually worse. When we moved out here, most of the neighbors told us that they were running Verizon MiFi cards for their internet, and so I was always trying to use that Verizon cell phone to look stuff up, and it's so slow, it's so bad. So our AT&T cellular is actually faster, but both are highly unreliable. We get maybe 1 to 2. We're lucky to get 2 bars of service inside the house. Of course, the metal roof probably doesn't help, but normally inside the house it just says no service. I've seen as much as 3 bars if I stand outside the man door downstairs on the south side of the house. So we're installing the antenna here on the south side of the house, and I've been told, and I know I actually have driven past the towers, we're about dead center between 2 towers. There's one to the southwest, which is out this way, and there's one to the northeast, which is the opposite direction. So we're pointing it direction of the southwest. Hopefully we'll get some better service. Yeah, you know, I do believe in Darwinism to a certain extent. At least to the extent that if someone's doing something real stupid, I think you warn them once or twice, and then let them do it if they still want to do it, and if it kills them, well, that's survival of the fittest. So this morning I was working on this antenna, and I told you guys that we had the rope, my safety rope, tied off to my wife's bumper. Well, my wife is gone. My safety rope I tied off here to this little luggage rack just to make sure that the kids wouldn't try to do something crazy with it and yank on the other end of it on the other side of the house and actually pull it over, because it's kind of a pain in the butt to get it back up on the roof and thrown over. So I was getting ready to step up onto the roof. Had the rope already around my belt and everything. Getting ready to step up on the roof, and I remembered that it was untied. So I'll bring it out here in my truck, tie it off, and then I'll get back up on the roof. Let me tell you guys, this is where I get pissed when I'm working alone, because I was just up in the attic and I poked the wire out through the hole that I drilled so that I could crawl up here on the roof and hook it up to the antenna. And I hate getting telemarketer calls from Google when I'm in the middle of a thought. Anyway, so I climbed up in the attic, poked the wire out so that I could climb up here on the roof and hook it up to the antenna. And somewhere along the way, my wire worked its way back inside the hole. So it is no longer sticking out where I need it. Which means now I gotta get down off the roof, back up in the attic, push the wire out, back up on the roof, pull the wire out and hook it up. Getting up in the attic means taking my socks and shoes off because the cellulose insulation gets all over everything. It is what it is. A helper would be nice, but My helper being my wife, she probably wouldn't get in the attic, and I know she wouldn't get on the roof. So maybe having a helper is not all that important. I should have double checked this, because I poked it out through the hole first, and then I pulled the wire back through the attic and dropped it in through the other hole. So along the way, as I was going backwards and feeding the wire, I must have just tugged it a little bit. So I'm gonna get up in the attic and fix it. Look at that blue sky, perfect blue sky. Not a cloud in the sky. And here I am, up here fighting around in the attic. I need to be doing dirt, doing anything other than working in the attic. Well, so we did finally get the antenna hooked up. We're about a week later now, and it is disgustingly rainy and nasty. Not nice and sunny and enjoyable to sit on the roof, so I'm glad we got it done. We still need to go up there and caulk that little hole where the wire runs through. But we've got it all hooked up and tested, and it is freaking awesome. We have good cell service through the whole house, not just like okay service upstairs by the antenna. Good cell service, whereas before we had no service. So I'm gonna take you upstairs, take you through the house, and show you the rest of the components with the kit, and show you how we installed it all, or at least kind of how we laid it out in the house. And yeah, I guess just tell you a little more about it, about how we did it all. But it's pretty super easy install, and it works exceptionally well. We're very happy with it. I don't remember that I ever showed you guys the rest of this. I think I made a video about 8 months ago when it started. But just showing you how we have for the cell phone booster, the Weboost system. It's actually working really well, so I'm happy now to release this video and show you guys everything. So the antenna's outside, that's the receiver. The cable runs through the attic in here into our laundry room, behind our DirecTV, which is also wireless now. That's the booster. You need to have your booster in a climate controlled area. Not that it really gets hot, but if you put it up in the attic, it could overheat or degrade. So that's the booster, and then from the booster, the cable actually runs, it runs into the wall, but it actually goes up into the attic right there as well. And comes back out here into our kind of central area, and so that's the indoor antenna that's pushing the signal back out. And so it's right here in the living room and the kitchen, so we have really good signal upstairs. We actually have pretty decent signal downstairs too with this, whereas before, just going off of just what little bit of cellular data came in the house, we were screwed. We never had any service, period. I mean, just literally no service on the phone. You had to step outside to make a call, and now we have to step inside to make a call. So it was a bit of an investment. I want to say the kit was about $1,000, but we needed to have reception, and this was the best of the best. That's all we could get, but it is working. So if you're in a really rural, remote area and you are cellular dependent, that's all we have for internet. We couldn't get any sort of cable internet out here, so we are purely cellular signal dependent. I would recommend this kit. It is a bit of a, like I said, it's a bit of a sticker shock there, but if it's basically your lifeline, I think it's a good investment.